Evening, guys. I've been excited to show this saw along with several others. This is the spectacular Alco 5500S. Interesting name, Alco. Some of you who've watched another vid, you will know the acronym, and I'm unsure why. Sometimes when I mention Alco to people, they think of a perhaps a lower cost brand or something without much history, and that's really strange, because Alco as a company date back to 1931, and they started. So the name Alco is actually, it's not one word, it's AL-KO, which is the first two initials of the founder's name, which is Alois Kober. And he started in Kotz in Germany, and I'm pretty sure that started, no, definitely was 1931. And I know that because, as you know, I'm a huge Solo fan, and I've followed Solo and Solo Klein Motoren, so Solo small engine division or motor division, with a passion. And Alco, I believe, acquired Solo Klein Motoren in 2014 or 2016. Not sure if it's 2014 or 2016, I should know that. Around there. And so they didn't make chainsaws, so if you're looking for an Alco chainsaw, you won't per se find them as a manufacturer. And on their history page, there's some really interesting, as companies write, they write up their mission statements and they write up their philosophy sometimes. And one of the things for Alco was certain things, when they've already been invented, you can't reinvent them again. So if somebody has already made very famously, you know, Leonard Wheeler back in the 1800s making a spectacular water wheel which went around the world quickly, and if people have already invented chainsaws, you can't reinvent them, so to speak. They're already invented. But what you can do, if the product that you want to embrace is fantastic, you can approach the companies that make them and incorporate it in part of your range, because it, you know, epitomizes your philosophy. So if you want spectacular engineering, if you can't make it yourself, you might say, contact the company and say, I want to use that product and introduce it in my company. So this is one of those choices. This is the Alpina 55 Professional, and some people would say this is the best 55cc chainsaw in the world. And I haven't had all the 55cc chainsaws. I certainly haven't had loads of the newer ones, but out of the older chainsaws, these saws are second to none. They are built spectacularly. That means it adds to their weight and their footprint in terms of overhead. These are available in several formats. So this girl, same displacement always, so which is why she was out with the other girls earlier on. This saw is a 36mm stroke, 44mm piston, often recorded incorrectly as a 49cc. These are 55cc's, and Italian. Alpina can be traced back to 1960. This saw is a combination of some of their finest designs. So all the main components, all fantastic, heavy mag alloy construction. Spectacular composite brake handle, really robust and spectacular. Very strong composite side cover, metal where it matters, excellent pull start housing, excellent anti-vibe, really robust and tough on the rear handle. Top fuel for the fuel, so just in line with the 70, very similar looking, that yellow and the chocolate brown. Same kill switch, same choke position, location. And so power wise, interesting. So the spectacular Husky 254 then, which is very similar in bore and stroke. So she is, whereas this is a 46 mil piston. The Husky's a 45, and whereas this is a 36, I think the Husky's a 34. That's right, 34, 45. So making a nominal 54 cc's. This is 55. This is a later version decompression valve, making around the 4 horsepower. And so interesting, the power figures for this saw, because they range from depending on the literature they range anywhere from 4.2 to 5.5. Now I don't think they make 5.5 horsepower. Let's make sure this is off. But what this girl is ferocious, and when she starts, which we won't even bother using throttle lock, when she starts it's got that noise which comes off of the exhaust where it hurts the eardrums. Such is the level of tuning. So, if you've ever seen them so fast, instant up, instant down, off the top end, and then straight back to a rock steady idle, and a ferocious engine in between. So when you hear of the name Alco, remember that even if you've seen some of their choices of products which doesn't include these saws, and you think, well, that's questionable, actually as a company they have over 90 years of history, and some of their product selection has been sublime, and this is one of them. So I had a few messages saying, could I show this saw cutting? This saw has been cut with, I think, twice or 3 times. So she's currently fitted with the original 19-inch roller nose bar. This current setup is a nearly new semi-chisel chain. I've previously cut with her as well, but not on video, but previously cut with her with a full chisel, and she was just fantastic. So let me show you how this girl cuts. She's just a special piece of history. Now, where do I put the helmet? Okay. So I have a lot of saws in the middleweight size, and without exaggeration, in terms of build and robustness and history, this is almost second to none on my list for this period of saw. The only difference would be the Alpina 55, where in fact it's just a label. this is as close to perfection for a middleweight saw that I can describe. Just enough weight in it to just place it on the wood with no effort, and it'll just pull itself through. And just so lazy with the semi-chisel chain, with the full chisel, just an annihilator, and strong enough just to last, well, I would think for a light home user, a lifetime. This girl is circa 40 years old, I think, in this format, with this guide, with this particular chain brake and side cover and top cover. Very difficult to date because they've had, again, some model changes. This one is my favourite version of it because at this stage it's still all mag alloy on top, mag alloy, and then this spectacular chain housing. There's another version just back there which looks identical, but at that point had gone all composite then on top. And there you go, I just prefer this version. Internal's exactly the same, and I think still the same ignition as well at that stage. So there she is. So even after just cutting a few discs, just perfect engine performance, and then straight back to this fantastic steady idle. So on paper they run up to a 19-inch bar for the Alco. This is running the 19-inch, and I have another one running a 24-inch. I can't tell if there's any performance difference while it's running that, and certainly up to 20-inch wood the saws are effortless. So there she is. That's the Alco, aka the Alpina 55 Pro. But Alco themselves, spectacular history, guys, spectacular. Back to 1931, Kotz, he was a locksmith. Yes, of course he was. He was a locksmith, and just lots of foresight, introducing companies which add to the prestige of the company that you started. And this was definitely one of their great additions. So that's the Alpina 55 Professional. Just sublime. Let me show you on a restart. Just an amazing saw. No throttle lock. Guys, thanks for watching. And one person messaged and said, I've noticed on some of the saws you're holding out the pull cord. Well, you've noticed probably at the end then when I shut the engine off, obviously the pulls on some of these, if it's not running something like the Fairbanks Morse friction washer assembly, like with the old steel where you pull it, the dogs engage from the inside out. If this has got the sprung loaded pulls on the flywheel, of course, when the engine stops and the rotation slows down, as the dogs can't overcome the spring pressure anymore, they'll come in and then they'll catch on the flywheel pulley. And so by pulling that out slightly, instead of it jamming to a dead stop, you can just let it catch the tail end and then just pull that in, so you're less likely to do any damage to the pulls. So that's the reason why we hold these out on some of the engines. But let's show you that in operation. So just hear it click. Once it's clicked and the flywheel's stationary, you can let the pull cord back in. Hey guys, the spectacular Alco 5500S. Bye for now.